Welcome, welcome, welcome to South Mountain Community College. I am Marilyn Omifunke Torres, and I will be your MC this evening. I am faculty for the Storytelling Institute, and I'd like to give a warm welcome to the Eagle Prep students who are visiting us again for a jazz afternoon. I'd like to also give a welcome to all of our community guests and students that are here, and a special recognition to my African American and film class that is sitting here, who have learned how jazz has played a great role in film historically in the African American community. So with that, I thank you for being here. Welcome to what we call our Awakening Sea Jazz Choir Storytelling Concert. So before we begin, there are a couple of details we want to take care of. The event will take about an hour, and teachers, parents who are chaperones, if children must use the restroom, please have them step out in between a performance, either of music or storytelling. And our restrooms are on the right side here of our performance hall, right behind the elevator area. We'd also like everyone to take a moment to take their cell phones and put them on vibrate or turn them off for at least an hour so you can enjoy the program. Awakening Sea is an educational model dedicated to fostering communities that are inclusive, creative, innovative, and of course, interacting with the using of skills and opportunities for collaboration and cooperation, building skills, learning skills that are essential to your education and your productivity as a member in the community. So we are so happy to have our kids here today, as well as our students. As educators, we believe that the recognition and awareness of the infusion of the performing arts in the classroom curriculums is essential to teaching math, science, reading, writing as an integral and holistic approach to what is essential to your learning and your student success. So let us begin, and let's give everybody who is here to perform a round of applause. Let us first welcome Dr. Jerome Garrison, the Division Chairperson of our Communication, Fine Arts, and Social Sciences, and the Director of our Music Program, who will lead, yes, the community choir in 3 songs. The Wind Beneath My Wings by Larry Henley and Jeff Silbar, I Can Give You Anything But Love by Dorothy Fields and Jimmy McHugh, and Down by the Riverside, a traditional spiritual arranged by Jay Althros. Let's give them a round of applause.
The last one is Down by the Riverside. It is a slave song. It talks about, I'm going to lay down my burdens down by the riverside, ain't going to study war no more. It came out in the 1800s. Now, they're not really talking about war. They're talking about negative images and negative thoughts that people were putting on them because they were slaves. So they said they ain't going to study war no more. I mean, they're not going to study depression no more and things that are negative in your spirit. Instead, they were going to think higher and feel better about themselves as individuals. So that's what this song is about. Okay. Like I said, it came out in the 1980s, and not 1980s, but 1800s, when we were still in war. You know, war ended in 1863. So here we go. Down by the riverside.
Let's give another round of applause to our students and community members who gathered together in choir. Singing music. Well, singing music improves memory, reading, writing scores. Singing fosters social and emotional intelligence. When we think about song, we also think about stories. Stories that are teaching our children about their relationship to the earth, gardening, honoring the cycles of nature. Let us welcome Chantel Freed, graduate of our Storytelling Institute Academic Certificate Program, South Mountain Community College alumni, oral traditional teller, as she retells a folk tale from Guatemala, The Cricket Song by Amy Friedman and Meredith Johnson. Let's give her a round of applause.
Once upon a time, yes, once upon a time, there was this tiny, teeny little yellow cricket, and he lived in a tiny village. Now, the cricket was a very important part. See, because he would climb to the tallest stalk of the wheat with the gold and the brown and the tassels, and he would hop, and he would hop, and he would sing his song, creak, creak. And the farmers knew what that meant. And if you went like this, creak, 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 it meant that the winds were coming in, the rains, and the farmers' wives would have to gather the laundry from outside and bring in the children for the danger. And if the weather changed and became cold, creak, 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 it told the farmers that it was time to harvest. And it told the wheat that it was time, that it was going to become a beautiful loaf of bread. And all of its little friends, the cricket's friends, the fat ones, the little ones, the big ones, the round ones, the short ones, the smart ones, the silly ones, would tell that tiny little yellow cricket, oh, how beautiful his song was and how it just was so magnificent. Well, that tiny, teeny little yellow cricket got a big head. Now, not physically big, no. His ego was so big because of all these compliments that he thought, I need to take this elsewhere. I need to take my song to the sea that I love. And he knew that this was going to be a big journey because he was so tiny. So he rested. And then he set out on his journey. And it was long and it was hard. And finally, there it was, the beautiful sea with the waves tossing and the animals in the sea swimming. And he found a rock and he hopped on it. He wanted to sing the sea his song. Creak, creak, creak. And as he was singing, he was telling the sea that the wise would love to swim and the farmers would love to fish in the sea. Creak, creak. And the children would love to play with all the little sea creatures. But the sea was so loud with the tossing and the turning and the waves crashing into the rocks, it could not hear the cricket's song. That did not discourage the cricket, because the next sunset that started with the gold and the reds and the grays and the blues in the sky, he got up on his rock again. Crick, crick. But the ocean or the sea was so loud. And he waited and he waited. And the more he waited for the sea to calm down, to hear his song, he realized how much he missed his tiny village. So he wanted to go home. And he knew what a long journey that was going to be. So he rested. And the next day, he started out on his journey. And he hopped and he hopped and he hopped and he hopped and he hopped, until he finally got to the edge of his village. And he stopped hopping. And he looked. For there was something very different about this village. It wasn't like this when he left. The villagers and the farmers and the wives and the children were sad. The wheat was not tall and strong. It was droopy and sad to where the tassels were almost touching the soil. Oh, this laid heavy on the tiny little yellow cricket, on his heart. So he hopped and hopped, very sad, and lay down under a bush to rest. Now the next day, as the sunset was starting, with the yellows and the reds, and it was kind of a little bit more gray with the blue and the white, he tried to find the tallest little wheat stalk that he could. So he hopped and he hopped and he hopped, and he got up there, and he started to sing his song. Creak, creak. And there was some noise in the village. Creak, creak. The villagers realized that that tiny little yellow cricket came back. And they ran out right up to the edge of the field. And they listened to him play his song. Crick, crick. Now the wheat also started to hear his song. You are my sunshine. You are my sunshine. On a cloudy day, you never know, dear, how much I love you. Crick, crick. See, for the wheat heard what the cricket was singing, and the villagers heard what the cricket was singing, and all of his little cricket friends came and ran up. And at that exact moment, the little cricket realized how important his song was to bring harmony and balance. And he only wished that he learned this lesson sooner. Thank you.
Woo! Give her a round of applause. Songs are often accompanied by playing instruments. Playing a musical instrument, it improves mathematics, comprehension, sensory skills, and instills discipline. Let us welcome again Dr. Garrison and introduce our South Mountain Community Jazz Band performing "Four" by Miles Davis, "The Best Is Yet to Come" by Sal Coleman and Carolyn Lay. Give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
Out of the tree of life, I just picked me a plum. You came along and everything started to hum. Still, it's a real good bet, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? You think you've seen the sun, but you ain't seen it shine. Wait till the warm-up's underway. Wait till our lips have met. Wait till you see that sunshine day. You ain't seen nothing yet. Best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? The best is yet to come, come the day you're mine. Day you're mine, come the day you're mine. I'm gonna teach you to fly. We've only tasted the wine. We're gonna drain that cup dry. Wait till your charms are right for these arms to surround. But you ain't left the ground. Wait till you're locked in my embrace. Wait till I draw you near. Wait till you see that sunshine place. Ain't nothing like it here. Best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine? The best is yet to come, come the day you're mine. Come the day you're mine. I got plans for you, baby, and baby, you're gonna fly. Thank you.
Woo, yeah. The best is yet to come. We say that education models and invites educators to engage our children in imaginative play, using stories to introduce important lessons. Let us welcome Mario Avent, South Mountain Community College alumni, veteran, jazz singer, and storyteller, as he retells the Bolivian legend of the Armadillo song retold by Schulister.
Okay. How are y'all doing? Y'all good? Oh, okay. Once upon a time, way back, when Arizona wasn't even a state, but it was still Arizona, there was an armadillo, and this armadillo loved music. He would go down to the pond and he would see the frogs jumping and leaping from lily pad to lily pad, singing their song. Boom, 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 boom. And the armadillo, oh, you frogs make such beautiful music. I wish I could make music like that. And the frog told the armadillo, everybody knows that armadillos can't make music. And the armadillo, he walked away very, very sad. He walked all the way back home. And when he got home, he heard the sound of a cricket. You are my sunshine. You are my sunshine on a cloudy day. You never know, dear, how much I love you. And the armadillo was just overwhelmed with the music. Cricket, you sound so wonderful. I wish that I could sing and make music like you. And the cricket told the armadillo, well, everybody knows that armadillos can't make music. So armadillo, that night, he went to sleep. He was sad. The next day he woke up, trying to make himself feel better. He went for a walk. And he saw a truck. And the truck was filled with rockin' robins. And they started singing their song, a twitty-litty-leet, 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 twitty-litty-leet. Robins, you sound so cool. I wish I could make music like that. Everybody knows that armadillos can't make music. The armadillo was so sad, even the truck made music. And the truck took off. And the armadillo wanted to hear more of the truck music and more of those rockin' robins. So he started running after him. But he couldn't keep up. And it was hot. I mean, after all, this is Arizona. He was so hot, he found this big oak tree. And he decided to get some shade. Well, all the sweat that was on the armadillo made him a little itchy. And so he started scratching his back against that oak tree. What he didn't know was inside that oak tree lived a wizard. The wizard came out. He saw the armadillo scratching and crying. Armadillo, what is wrong with you? The armadillo just looked at the wizard. Said, I just want to make music. Okay, said the wizard. Come inside, come inside. So the armadillo went in and he sat right next to the wizard. And the wizard started scratching his back. And then he started beating on the armadillo shell. And the armadillo, stop it. Why are you scratching and beating on me? You're not helping me. And the wizard said, okay, I'm going to grant you one wish. Anything you want, I will grant it for you. And the armadillo said, the only thing in the world that I want is to make music. And the wizard said, okay, close your eyes. Go to sleep, get into a deep trance. And that's exactly what the armadillo did. While the armadillo was sleeping, the wizard scratched on the armadillo's back. And he was beating on the armadillo shell. The armadillo woke up. And the wizard said, now, what did you hear? He said, In my dream, I made music. I know what to do now. And the armadillo took off. The first place he went was back to those frogs. And the frogs were leaping and bounding from lily pad to lily pad. And they looked at him, "Hey, armadillo, you want to hear us make music?" And armadillo said, "Yes." And they started. Boom, 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 boom. And they laughed at the armadillo. "Armadillo, we don't know why you came back. Everybody knows that armadillos can't make music." And then the armadillo did something that the frogs never thought that he would do. He started scratching and beating on his shell at the same time. "Armadillo, your music is so cool. You know what? You should make music with us." And that's exactly what they did. And as the frogs were leaping and bounding, and the armadillo played his music, they sounded like bum 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 bum. And it was the greatest music I've ever heard. And from that day on, the armadillo knew it didn't matter what music that other animals made. If he made his own music and he thought about himself, his own music will make himself happy. Thank you.
Woo! Yeah! Let's welcome out our jazz band, who will give us Work Song by Nat Adderley.
Okay, Work Song is from the 60s, and during the 60s, as you know, there was a lot of racism. And so this particular song depicts that. I want everybody to repeat after me. Breaking up, big rocks, on the chain gang.
On the chain gang.
Now say it like this. Breaking up big rocks on the chain gang. Say it like that.
Breaking rocks, big on the chain gang. Oh, Derek, I can't even
So
follow.
the melody would go like, breaking up big rocks on the chain gang. Can you say it like that? Breaking up big rocks on the chain gang. Say it again.
Breaking up big rocks on the chain gang.
And then the next part says, breaking rocks and serving my time. Say that.
Breaking rocks and serving my time.
Say it again.
Breaking rocks and serving my time.
So the essence of this story is that this guy said he committed a crime. And the only crime he committed was being hungry and poor. So he went into a grocery store and he was stealing food, and he got caught and they put him in prison. And now he's out on the chain gang. It's when they take him out of prison and make him work on the streets and breaking up big rocks. And that's what this song is about. So you'll hear that melody go all through this song about the work song. Guys, he's working very hard. And that's why we encourage each one of you, whatever you're doing, if you're in school, you have to stay in school. You have to achieve your goals, because being poor is not cool at all. But education will pull you out of that level and take you to a level that you can never imagine. So continue with your education. This was a different time. It was in the 60s, and so many times they didn't have access to education. Here we go with the work song.
Let's give her a round of applause. Woohoo! Yeah. can be seen as legends. And they speak to how musicians take on many things. They perform to a level that they move us into magical worlds. And in those magical worlds, we can even visit them in our dreams. Let us welcome Brittany Castro, South Mountain Community College alumni, achieving a college education scholar, assistant to the ACE program, storyteller, as she retells a Russian legend, The Sea King's Daughter by Anson Shepard.
Long ago, in a Riverport village, there was this man, and he played the guitar, and he played the guitar like no other. He would go to these really elaborate parties, and he would just play and play and play. Do, 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 do. He would play, and you know his favorite thing about that was when he was playing his guitar, he would watch all the people in the room, and the room would come alive because everyone would start dancing when he would play his guitar. He liked to spend most of his nights sitting right next to the river, and he would just play his guitar and try out new songs. And there was this one special night. It was really late at night, and the moon was super high up, and it was a full moon that night. And as he was playing, out of nowhere, the river started becoming very violent and thrashing around, like almost like if a storm was coming, but there were no clouds at all in the sky. And his name was Sadko. He got really terrified, and Sadko started to back up. And as he was backing up, the river, it started to come up, and as it came up, it looked like there was a man coming out of it. And Sadko screaming, "Oh my gosh, help me, someone!" And the river, this man that came out of the river, he pops up and he's like, wait, I'm the king of the ocean, and I came here to visit my daughter because she's the princess of this river. So I would actually like to invite you to come to my palace and play for me and my family. Really? Okay. I can do that, but how would I get to your castle in the sea? Oh, you'll find a way. And then just like that, the Sea King, he was gone. The next morning, Sadko woke up. Okay, well, I think he wants me to go tonight, so I need to figure out a way how to get there. So what Sadko did, he looked through all of his house and found all the change he could muster up. And he went to the docks, and he gave them his money, and he had just enough for a ticket. And that ticket took him on a sailboat that took him far out into the ocean. He was basically in the middle of the ocean at this point. And as the sailboat was going and everything, out of nowhere, it was like, boop, it just stopped, like if a hand was holding it. And the wind was still blowing pretty good too. And Sadko realized, I think this is my stop. And all the crew on this boat were freaking out because they thought, oh my gosh, the boat is cursed. Oh my gosh, the Sea King wants us. Oh my gosh, what's happening? No one knew what was happening, but Sadko knew he had to jump into the water. So he grabbed his guitar and he took a jump. And he sank down all the way to the bottom of the ocean, and he saw it, that big, beautiful castle that the Sea King lived in. And when he walked into that castle, he saw so many things. He saw all the creatures of the sea. He even saw things that he's never seen before. But all the way in the back, he saw the Sea King sitting high on his throne right next to his beautiful wife, the Queen. And he went up. Oh, you finally made it. Yes, Sadko, come sit next to me so you could start playing for my people. So Sadko went right up next to the king, and he sat down and he played. And he played and he played for hours and hours. And then, you know what happened? The king, he got up and he started to dance. But the king, he wasn't really a dancer. He was flailing around, spinning around and everything. Sadko, play faster. I like this song. Okay, do 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 do. Like he had to keep playing faster and faster, and the faster Sadko played, the faster the king danced, and the faster he would stomp around and turn around and everything. And the queen, after a while, Sadko, you need to get him to stop, because to you it looks like he's dancing, but to us, he is wrecking ships, he's causing giant tsunamis, there's storms all over the planet now, he needs to stop. So, Sadko, alarmed from his playing, he broke one of his strings. Oh no, I can't play anymore, sorry king, I don't have any extra string. Oh, that's a shame. Well, thank you for all of that you've done, and to repay you, can I offer you the hand of one of my beautiful daughters? Sure, okay. Sadko, he didn't know what to do. And he went up and he saw all of the king's daughters. They were all lined up in a row. They were so beautiful, each one more beautiful than the other. But he didn't know who to choose. And at the same time, Sadko had a feeling in his heart that if he chose a wife, or if he had a wife, he wouldn't be able to go back to his city that he loved so much. So he kind of just stayed quiet. And the king, he decided, well, if you're not going to pick one, I'll have one of them pick for you. So one of them actually went up and said, Sadko, I've been listening to you for years. It was that same river, that princess of the river, that Sadko would always play to. And I would like to take your hand. Okay. Sadko was happy, but as they were sent off to go get married, the queen stuck him aside and told him, okay, well, you do realize if you marry her, or when you marry her, and if you give her a kiss or a hug on the first night, you're gonna stay here forever. You can't leave and go back to your beautiful city that you love so much. And this saddened Sadko. So that night when they were both laying down in bed, they were just laying down next to each other. He didn't give her a kiss. He didn't hug her. And the princess, she was sad because she wanted at least a hug or a kiss or something. They're married. And she asked him, well, why haven't you given me a hug or a kiss yet? Well, it's custom in my culture that we don't give each other a hug or a kiss on the first night when we get married. Oh, well, I'm afraid if I don't get a hug or a kiss from you, you're never going to. And with that, they both fell asleep. And the next morning, Sadko woke up with the sun in his eyes. He woke up right next to the river in his city. He was happy, but sad. He was crying. He started to weep because he wasn't sure if he was so happy to be back in his beautiful city or if he was sad that he lost his wife. Or maybe it was a combination of the two. Years went on, and Sadko, eventually, he ended up getting a different job. He made enough money, he bought a sailboat, he would sail around and he became a merchant. He even got married to a beautiful woman, and they had these gorgeous kids, and every night he would play his guitar for them. But sometimes, every now and or when the moon was full, he would go out on a night stroll, and he'd go walk to the river. He would sit down in his usual spot, and he'd bring out his guitar, and he would play. And he would play and play all night. And sometimes he thought maybe he saw something come up out of the water. But who knows?
Woo!
Thanks.
As stories give us magical times and tell us about music, tell us about dreams, tell us about things that are different. Playing instruments and singing choirs builds teamwork, collaboration, and leadership. And with that, I want to introduce our final storyteller. Her name is Elisa Joy Paulson. She's a South Mountain Community College Storytelling Institute student in the spring, and she brings you the classic, The Bremen Town Musicians by the Grimm Brothers. Let's welcome up Allison. Woohoo!
Hi, everybody. So I'm going to tell you the story of the Bremen Town Musicians. It begins with a donkey. There is a donkey whose name is Cece. And Cece loved hauling hay up the hill for his owner. It was his favorite thing to do, and the reason why was because at the end of the day, he could see the relief in his owner's face. He could see how much he had helped him, and he felt useful. He felt needed. And after many, many years, Cece got old. Cece got weak. Cece couldn't do the task anymore. And one day, a sunny day, he collapsed. He collapsed, and his owner had to look at him and say, "Oi, donkey, I got no use for you anymore. I gotta sell you or cook you. I just, what?" And the donkey said, "No, I remember a time when I could be of use, and I'm not ready to go. I'm not ready to give up yet. I can still be helpful." And so the donkey ran away. The donkey ran until he was out of sight. And then he had to think, what do I do now? How do I be of use? I can't haul hay. I can't do the thing that I was doing for most of my life. And then he thought back, and he remembered his favorite song. "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine." And he realized what he could do. He would travel to the town of Bremen and become a famous musician. And so he did. He walked and he traveled, and along the way, he met this dog that was howling. And he didn't know why, and so he approached the dog. He said, "Dog, what's up? Why are you howling?" And the dog said, "Oh, my name's Effie, but my owner doesn't want me anymore. I'm too old, and so I can't go chase birds, and I'm of no use. I just can't help people anymore." Well, Cece knew exactly this story, and so he looked at Effie, and he said, "Come with me to the town of Bremen, where we can become famous musicians." And so they did. They walked and they traveled. And while they were walking, it was getting dark. And they heard this noise. It was a cat meowing at the moon. And so Effie and Cece looked at the cat and they said, "Yo, cat, what's up? Why are you meowing?" And the cat said, "Well, my name's Amy, and I'm too old, and so I can't catch mice anymore for my owner, and she doesn't want me. I'm not useful. I can't help anyone." Well, you know where this is going. Cece and Effie looked at the cat, Amy, and they said, "Come with us to the town of Bremen, where we can all become famous musicians." And so they did. But at this point, it was dark outside, and so they needed to find a place to rest for the night. And so the cat, being the nimble one that she was, Amy hops up to the tallest tree and looks out. And as she's looking, she sees it. And she runs down the tree and she looks at Cece and Effie and she's like, guys, I got it. There's a house, like real close. And there's lights on and there's people in there. There's smoke off the chimney and they're eating delicious food. I bet if we go there, we can ask them to stay for the night and maybe have some of their food. And Cece realized, you know what we can do? We can sing for our supper. We can play them our songs that we've practiced in the day that we've known each other. And it'll be like our first gig. It'll be great. And so they walk over to the house, and the donkey, being the tallest one, he looks up to the window. And then Effie climbs on top, and Amy climbs on top of him. And they, looking through the window, stacked on top of each other, start singing. And it's not good. It's really bad. It's so bad that the people inside are terrified. And on top of this, they see this creature outside in the dark wilderness wobbling and this huge beast. And so they run in terror. They run out of that house. They're like, nope. And so the animals go into the house and they're like, man, we did so good. Look at all this food they gave us. They gave us all this food. They let us have their house. They must have loved our song. Like, we're real great. We're good at this. And so they relaxed. They ate their food. They had a wonderful evening. And eventually they turned out the lights, and the cat curled up by the fire, the dog curled up by the shoes, and the donkey slept just outside because he liked the cold air. Now, the one thing that I didn't mention, that the animals didn't know, was that these men in the house were actually bandits. They were robbers. They were known all throughout the land. And this was their safe house. This was the house that nobody was supposed to know about. And so when they saw that creature outside, they thought they'd been had. And when they left and regrouped around a fire, they were like, yo, man, we can't let them take our house. Like, that's our house. We gotta go take back our land. It's our safe house. It's the only place we got. So they devised this plan. The 4 men send in one of their recruits to go check out the house once it's dark and they've all gone to sleep, and to see if there's a possibility that they can take it back. And so the man walks into the house. He goes and he travels. And it's dark. Remember, they had turned out the lights. And so the man reaches out of his pocket and pulls out a match. And he thinks, well, I can just light it on the embers of the fire. That's no worries. And so he goes and he walks over to the fire and he tries to light the match. The cat was sitting right in front of the fire, and the glare of the cat's eyes made the eyes look like embers. And so this man mistaked the eyes for the embers. And the cat was not happy about this. Amy was real mad. And so she attacked his face. She clawed at him. And the guy's like, oh no, what do I do? And so stay. So the guy's over here, and he's like, oh, the cat clawed me, oh no, what do I do, what do I do? And he steps back, and he steps right on the dog's tail. Now, dog's not happy about this, and so he turns, and he bites into the man's leg. And the dude's like, I've got scratches on my face, and I've got a bite in my leg. And so he runs for the door, and as he's going for the door, he slams it open and hits the donkey. And the donkey's not happy about this. And so the donkey's like, well, who woke me up? Get out of here. And the man's like, okay, all right. I get the message, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go. And he goes back to his friends. He goes back to his friends and tells them what he had encountered. And he goes, men, we can't take back that safe house. There wasn't just one person. There was 3 men there. One of them had claws for hands. The other one had gnarly teeth. We're outnumbered. We can't do it. They're stronger than us. They're better than us. We gotta go. And so the men leave. They leave their safe house. And the animals, Cece, Effie, and Amy, are able to spend some time honing their skills. And wonderful question, how do I know this story? Well, this story was told to me by a pair of musicians in the town of Bremen. Thank you.
Woo! And we close our event by inviting the jazz band to give us a beautiful song, You've Got a Friend in Me by Randy Newman.
together and we'll see it through. 'Cause you got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Some other folk might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy, and as the years go by, the friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. Some other folk might be a little bit smarter than I am, bigger and stronger too, maybe, but none of them will ever love you the way I do. It's me and you, boy, and as the years go by, our friendship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. Yeah.
Woo! Yeah!
Thank you.
Let's give our band, our singers, and our storytellers a round of applause. Woo!
Thank you so much. Could you give Marilyn Torres a big hand? Thank you so much, Marilyn, for taking the MC part.
And I'm gonna give a
wanna
shout
thank
out to
South Mountain Community
Leilani.
College Jazz Band,
Woo-hoo!
Day Jazz Band. And listen, you have a friend in us. You have a friend in South Mountain Community College. Feel free to come over. And we're so happy that you came today to hear our concert. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time.
Have a great summer, Eagle Prep, and Leilani, your Titi loves you. Bye.